I want to ask you a question then about industry specifics, because one of the things about commercial is it seems like it's industry specific. Like you could buy a retail shop front, but then, I don't know, everything starts moving to e-commerce. So you have industry disruption. You could buy a pub, but then everyone starts to drink non-alcoholic drinks or whatever. Or you could buy a warehouse, but then imports stop or whatever. So there's always the potential for industry disruption. Yeah. So how do you go about thinking about that from a risk profile perspective? Does that factor into the decision-making process?
It does, but like all things in property, it's cyclical. So you have that in residential, but it's slightly different in commercial.
Yeah.
Commercial is mainly it's driven by the length of the lease in that area, in that town. For example, if everyone's on a 5-year lease, they're coming off a 5-year lease, there's going to be movement in the market, there's going to be negotiations, there's going to be property prices change, flavors of the month will change. But there's also trends in commercial property that you don't see in residential. Like in residential, you see the houses, right? It's this suburb that's really booming, it's really great. In commercial, it's like, today everyone wants to buy a childcare centre. So the boom goes for 12 months, and what we see is childcare centres that started at 6% now would sell at 2.5% in that 12 or 18 months time. So at the moment we're in that, and I remind my clients is that you are paying a premium to be in a warehouse industrial property. Do you want to pay that premium? Some people it's a yes, some people it's absolutely a no. But that's what the flavour of the month is. The trend is everyone wants to buy an industrial warehouse property because in their head they say, it's the safest thing I want.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point, because we had a client, we bought a residential property for them, and then they run a business or whatever, and as they came across this warehouse opportunity, they thought, let's buy this warehouse as well. And so he was telling me about the warehouse, and I said, let's run the numbers, because I was interested in it. And we ran the numbers, and I can't remember the exact price of the warehouse, but the price of the warehouse was significantly more expensive than the residential property that we bought. But the cash flow was actually worse than the residential property. Yeah. And the yield was a lot, it was madness.